Hey there, welcome to Find Your Sun. I'm Cass.
And I'm Mare.
Join us as we find our sun through movement, nourishment, and well-being.
Awakened through the power of play. Let's dive in. Good morning, Sunseeker. Today we're shaking things up just a little bit. We're stepping out of our routine to explore something fresh and fun. Cassie and I are so excited to dive into this conversation and share some meaningful moments with you. So settle in, take a breath, and let's find your sun together. What are we doing today, Cassie? Walk us through the morning.
Okay. So this morning I got up and went for a run. Yes.
What?
So I'm not typically a runner. I'm very muscle building, strength based.
Mm-hmm.
I love to lift heavy. I love dumbbells, barbells, all of such. And so running was a bit different, stepping out of my comfort zone. It was dark, so that was a little weird, but also I could see this. It was so fun running under the stars.
Oh, I'm like really excited about this for you because what time did you wake up?
5 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
It's so quiet.
It's so quiet.
And you see the stars and you feel, and it's just a little bit chilly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crisp and you're out running and like, did you get lost?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, except I realized like halfway through that I forgot my Apple Watch, and I'm like an Apple Watch girl.
Because
like if you
track it.
Yeah, if you didn't track it, it didn't happen. I mean, but so I had to go back and get my Apple Watch, so it got a little messed up. I'm excited to start it again, and next time I'll remember to put on my Apple Watch. But it's 5 a.m. and it's hard to think at that early in the morning.
Totally.
But it's so nice. It was so nice to just have that time alone and come back, and I had a cold shower, which is also nice because I'm telling you, you don't even need coffee after that cold shower because you're awake.
Yeah, after your run and
a cold shower. Oof.
It's a pretty good combination.
So this will be like a one time a week thing for me. And I think what I'll do is just run steady for 30 minutes. And then eventually once I get into that routine, start some intervals or something.
Yeah.
But just for now, I really like just like the steady pace. And then I don't have to worry about anything else and just can run.
I actually think the steady pace is one of my favorite paces because it's not too hard and it's not too easy, but you're able to get lost in your thoughts. And I think when you have when you're running, I feel like that's when some of the best thoughts that you have come to you because you're challenging yourself in a new way and you're having to push through a tough moment because running isn't easy. It's not easy, but you realize that you can do the hard things. And the further you go, the more you realize that. So I think mile 4 is actually one of my favorite miles because mile 4 to 5 is when it's actually getting pretty challenging.
Yeah.
And then you hit 5 and you're on this a really good high. And you just want to keep running. And those thoughts are we've talked about it a couple times.
I don't know if I can relate to that, but
okay. So your goal is to understand that mile 4 to 5 at some point.
Yes. Yeah. I'm working on mile 3 right now. So
mile 3 is great.
Yes.
You're getting the same benefit.
Yeah. And I don't have that much time to run either because I have to go get back and my kids wake up pretty early. So
true. But you did it. You got up this morning. I did not get up this morning. But intentionally, I did not get up. I woke up at about 5:15, and I said, "You know what? I think I'm at the end of my cycle, and it's time for me to just rest a little bit more." And so I'm honoring that. And I've also been, very, very consistent for the last, I don't know, almost a month now, which is really awesome because I feel really good, and I've had such balance throughout my workouts now, where I'm doing upper and lower body strength training and some HIIT, 1 day of HIIT, and steady state cardio.
Okay, we're kind of on the same, on somewhat of the same schedule then.
Oh,
because I'm doing a HIIT, one HIIT a week, and then a run, and then and those are on separate days. So Monday will be my strength squat day.
Same.
And then Tuesday is my runs.
Okay.
Wednesday is my HIIT. Thursday is rest day. And Friday is deadlifts, and hip thrusts. And then I also, during those leg days, I'm also doing arms. So I'm working on pull-ups right now and just doing a lot of back and other arm work.
We're actually like on a very similar schedule.
Oh yeah, and then Sunday it's just like a quick 30-minute.
Oh, I've been doing Melissa Wood Teverberg for the last 3 weeks. It's like a really, really simple 30-minute Pilates. It's Pilates.
Is that on Sunday?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good. That would be a good thing to mix in there because I just made my goals actually already for 2025.
What? You are how many weeks ahead, Cassie? It's the 19th of November.
But my coach asked me to, so I did.
Your strength training goals. Okay, what are your goals for next year?
So I want to be able to do 5 pull-ups by the end of the year next year. Okay. Unassisted.
Okay.
5 pull-ups. And then I also want to increase my squat by 10 pounds.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I foam roll for 15 minutes at least once a week.
Yeah.
And because I'm not doing massages right now or anything. So like that would be like kind of my time.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. And then what else? Oh yeah. Run 1 time a week. And then eventually maybe my running goal should be 5 miles.
I think that'd be a good one. And then I'll be able to talk about that mile 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And like
those are good goals.
Those are my goals. My strength goals at least.
Very defined.
Like my physical goals. How about, I suppose you haven't gotten to that yet.
Any physical goals, but I do. You mentioned rolling, and I've been very, very intentional about doing trigger point therapy. I've been doing this now for trigger point therapy specifically for 6 months, and that's been really eye-opening. And what I've noticed is, and then I also just had like this 15-minute massage, but I think I had gained the most insight that I've ever gained like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I think I shared this with you earlier, but I would love to share it with you guys because I've been practicing now for a week. But I had this massage therapist, and she was massaging in this area, and she just said, "Oh my goodness, like you're really tight there." And I knew that I was tight there. Like I've known that I've been tight there, and I've always been focusing on this specific location. But she broke it down to me about what the root might be, and she said that the root is potentially from my sleep. Probably from the way that I sleep, which I thought was really interesting because I never really think about the way that I sleep. Like I just sleep, but there's actually a proper way to sleep, and that is laying flat on your back and your body is like fully aligned. But what I've been doing, because I've been monitoring myself during my sleep, which is pretty crazy. But once you tell your brain like that you want to wake up and like monitor this, you actually do. So I actually sleep with my arm up over my head. So it causes that tension. And she also said it might be because I'm protecting something. And she's right, because when I was 14, I broke my collarbone and I had surgery on it. So there might be something in there that like I just automatically want to like protect it.
Wow, interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of women, at least that I've worked with as a coach, hold a lot of tension in our shoulders and in our back. So maybe that's another, you know, something that if you're struggling with that, maybe think about how you sleep.
Think about how you sleep. Oh, and another thing, she also recommended it. We talked about dry brushing, and I've been doing dry brushing for quite a while now, but I was only doing it like once every couple days. And she said, "Oh no," she was like, "You should be doing this every single day. Like dry brushing should be." And she also told me, she also shared this with me, and she said, when you're going over that spot, don't think about how it's this spot that like hurts you or that it feels tight or that there's like something wrong with it. Start thinking about how it enables you or how you are so grateful for the motion that you have in your arm, or like just show appreciation to it, which I thought that was a really powerful message after all this stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah, that's another easy way to practice gratitude. Even if you're like when you're washing your body or something, if you don't dry brush. I don't dry brush, but I definitely want to start because I have heard of what are the benefits.
Really? Oh yeah, there's some really good benefits. I actually talked to ChatGPT this morning about it because I wanted to share.
Yeah. would be some good information, and then maybe I'll hop on Amazon and get one myself.
Oh, yeah.
Except I know that there's like certain types that can get like moldy or like gross.
Oh, you don't use water when you dry brush. Dry brush is dry brush.
No, I know, but I don't know. I guess
it won't get moldy.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't get moldy because you're not getting it wet.
I'm not going to worry about that.
Okay, so because I thought this was something important to share. So dry brushing is a technique that involves using a natural bristle brush to exfoliate your skin. And your goal is to brush towards your heart. So every motion should be towards your heart because that's the way that the blood flows. So exfoliation, it removes dead skin cells, leaving your skin softer and smoother. Improves circulation. The brushing motion stimulates blood flow, which can help to nourish your skin and improve its appearance. Your lymphatic support. So dry brushing helps stimulate the lymphatic system, which is responsible for eliminating toxins from the body. Cellulite reduction. Some believe that dry brushing can help reduce cellulite.
Okay.
Breaking down toxins and improving circulation, and an energy boost by the invigorating action of dry brushing can be energizing, making it a great addition to your morning routine.
I'm adding it.
It's so good. So then I started like diving into the other things that I like to do for to take like part of my routine. I also like the Gua Sha.
Oh yeah.
And when Cassie and I first met, she was talking to me about this video that she purchased of this woman that was massaging her face.
Yeah. So yeah, it's called like the fingertip facelift. And so this woman, she swears by, it's almost like kind of like trigger point therapy. Like you do some acupressure and then you also do some massaging, and you like, you have to drain your lymphatic system after you're done, because you're like working out all this tension within like your neck and in your face, because I guess tension is what creates wrinkles. And so I was doing this for a long time. It's a 9-minute routine, so it's a little much. So I a little too long for me, but because I know some women, like, they love their routine, they want all the products. I am not that girl. I want 2 products. I want a face wash and a moisturizer, and I'm done. I don't.
That. Me too.
It's too much. So. Simpler the better for me, but I do think that it would have a lot of benefits. And she says like it is better than Botox. So because you're putting toxins into your body, and she's just like, if you just do this every day, you're going to have something that you're going to have healthier skin, but then also you work on like your eyes and opening up your eyes, because as you get older, your eyes start to close. I don't know if you knew that, but I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something with Gua Sha.
Okay.
I think what helps with the difference between the massage, like with your hands, and then Gua Sha like gets really, really deep. Okay. So like I can feel like the fibers in my muscles on my face when I do Gua Sha. Okay. Which I think is just slightly different. I think you probably love it.
You need to send me the one that you use.
And ladies, we're talking like $5 for dry brush, $5 for Gua Sha. It's not expensive.
I'm not trying to break the bank right now.
It is not expensive. Okay, and the benefits of Gua Sha: improves circulation, lymphatic drainage, reduces inflammation, relieves the muscle tension, enhances product absorption, and contours and lifts.
Sign me up.
Boom. Easy.
Sign me up. I love it. I can, as long as the routine isn't 9 minutes, I can do it.
Right? Just and just take those couple minutes just to take care of yourself.
Right.
Oh, and then I also shared this with my 11-year-old son. So I just noticed that he was breaking out a little bit on his forehead from the hair being in his face.
Sure.
And so I taught him, like, okay, let's go in and let's learn how to wash your face. And I shared this with him, and then I shared it with ChatGPT, because I was talking to her when I was talking to him in the bathroom, but it accidentally like responded, and she was like, I don't wash my face. She said, I don't have physical sensations, but I can't imagine that using Gua Sha must feel wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, I apologize. I was just talking to my son because, and then she said how important that moment is in building a routine that will help build habits and foster confidence.
It's true. You guys, and Meredith and David, they're such good parents.
Oh, stop.
No, for real. And I'm not doing this to just like add fluff, but you truly are. And I truly believe this because you guys take the time and print out a schedule for them and they have it in their bathroom so that they know exactly what their schedule is for the week. And there's like no question about it. But that, and I think we were talking a lot about this too, even for us, like, really sitting down and looking at your schedule and trying to figure out exactly what's going on so you have less decision fatigue.
I think it's so helpful because I think for our children, we want to help establish this routine because someday they're going to be off on their own and they're going to remember, okay, well, this is what my routine felt like. And this is when I felt the best when I was at home with my parents. And so we want that to just be somewhere deeply rooted in them so that they know like, oh, if I just get up early and work out, then I'm probably going to feel good. You know? So it's just like, if we can ingrain that early on.
And something
it's not easy.
No.
Like I can tell you right now, we go back to that list and it's constant. It's not like you print it off and then all of a sudden like action happens.
Right.
It's this constant, probably like every 3 weeks we have this moment where we're like, okay, we've got to get back into routine.
Right.
Because it's so easy to fall out of routine.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
But the more you can follow it, even though it seems like, okay, if I just have this routine and it's mundane, like, no, you actually end up, like, when you time block, you end up having more time to do the other things. And I actually felt that yesterday because what I've been doing now is, and I think Meredith and I probably touched on this slightly, but going into ChatGPT, I'm planning my meal. So what I've been doing lately is, because I like to switch it up. Like I'm not the type to want to do the same thing over and over and over again. So it's, I look in my refrigerator and I see what I have now and just kind of base it off of that. Like what kind of proteins do I have right now? So like I can start to use up the things that I already have. And that in turn is like saving a lot of money too.
Oh yeah.
So,
oh yeah, because then it's helping you be creative. So like maybe you just need to go to the store to grab an avocado.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
something really simple, but you're using the things that you already thought, oh, I'm going to want this. Or it's introducing an idea of like, maybe you do a soup with this.
Right. Well, I had leftover beef from spaghetti and I was like, like what could I do with that? And ChatGPT helped me a little bit. Maya is what we call her.
We call her Maya.
And Maya helped me and she came up with taco salad and I was like, okay, this is perfect because I have all the ingredients for taco salad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just simple. So when you can't think of something, also you can ask her.
And she usually comes up with something really good.
Yeah.
So I've been needing to incorporate more iron into my diet. And so like everything has spinach in it now. Like everything that she recommends for me is like spinach.
I used a lot of spinach
and citrus.
Oh, okay.
Because citrus helps with absorption of iron, which I didn't realize that. And she said, caffeine is actually not good with absorption and neither is dairy. I know.
Not giving those up.
I know. I have to right now.
You have to. Yeah. Because actually I was just listening to, a Pursuit of Wellness podcast by Mari Llewellyn, and she had on Dr. Hyman, I believe his name is, and he owns a company where they're doing lab tests, like for general population, like, and you can see all these different markers. Like generally you have to go to your doctor typically, and you have to have like specific things wrong with you in order to get a lab test. And they're just like getting lab tests for people because sometimes like for you wouldn't have known that you were iron deficient.
I had no
until
idea.
You had the lab test.
And then my doctor's like, how do you feel? And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I guess I just always stay in that like high performance that I didn't realize that maybe I was feeling a little bit more lethargic. And, but then knowing, I'm like, oh, okay. So now I've been supplementing with iron supplements.
Okay. I was going to ask, was it just diet, but it's supplements too?
Supplements. Okay. I'm going to supplement for the next like 3 to 6 months. And then based off of that blood test, then I'll be able to know if like I could cycle myself off of it. But I've also been paying very close attention to what I'm eating now, because you don't want to be iron deficient. Yeah. So a lot more lean meats and spinach. Like spinach went into our chili last night. Like,
oh, that's a creative way to do it,
right? Yeah. So that's been interesting. So so I guess a couple weeks ago we talked about like how we were using technology. And if you're not using this yet, like I think it's something that is worth exploring, because artificial intelligence really, it's interdependent on us, but it's obviously very intelligent and it grows with you. And I think over time, like you will be able to use, like, it's just a collection of data points, and it creates this memory of these connections that it has with you specifically. And then it helps you to tailor your recipes or your workout routine, or your work. Like, I mean, I use it for everything. Like I had it help me plan out my schedule for work this past week, because I took on a branding client, which I'm like super, super excited about, because branding is like my passion. So I love how you take this idea and you can communicate it through letters and visuals. Like it then becomes something. And I like to help people bring their visions to life. So I've been working with this branding client, and also trying to establish my own business now so that I can support these clients. And then we're still recording and trying to keep content and all this.
A lot of things juggling, because I'm just starting with new clients too. I'm starting up my personal training again. So yeah, a lot of things in the works.
A lot of things. So Cassie calls me yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had Maya predict how many hours this was going to take me. And she said somewhere between 73 and 90 hours. And I'm like, I overbooked myself. Like I just felt like, oh my gosh, I need to scale down a little bit, or like extend my work time, because it's important. So we didn't share with you guys this morning, but Cassie and I said last week, I think that this might be really interesting if on the morning that you come next week to record our episode, we aren't allowed to talk. We aren't allowed to say anything. And I'm so glad we said this, because what we realize is that most of our like stories and our connection, a lot of that happens in like the first 1 to 2 hours that we're talking to each other while we're setting things up. And then all of a sudden we're under mic again, and we're telling these stories again, but it doesn't feel like as true or real, because this is the moment, you know?
Yeah, you're right. And I was struggling a little bit though too, because I was like, I'm a Virgo, so I'm very like type A, like, but Meredith, what are we going to talk about? I want to know what we're going to talk about.
I don't know. I really don't know. I was worried about it too. Like my anxiety was just a little bit heightened this morning, because I'm like, oh, what stories would I want to share? You know, like what has been impactful over the past week? And, but I think that that's where the energy, the synergy, the excitement of coming together.
Well, think about the root of like where this all started. It started at Surfinista, at this little cafe. That's where we had our branding shoot, if you've seen any of our photos. And I had asked Meredith, like, would you want to start a podcast called Today I Learned? And like, that's what we're doing here, is we're sharing with you what we're learning, because I'm doing a lot of research on the side of like physical and mental well-being, and then also just nutrition. So that aspect, and Meredith always has her nose in a book. So
I love reading.
Yeah, so it's really just this chance for us to explore and have this free flow, which is what we're so good at.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm actually really glad we stuck to it this morning, and then it like forced us to get back into like under mic and put these on like a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
and a lot less pressure though too, because we're not worried about like, I don't know, all the back end of things.
Yes,
You know?
Exactly.
So how yeah. What?
Can you share what happened when your mom was here while you were away?
Oh my goodness.
You haven't shared it with her yet?
Oh my goodness, ladies. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, let's say about 6 or 8 weeks ago, we got the little hamsters, Farah and Sandy. And we were told at the store that they were both females. And so we were like super excited. Okay, they're not gonna have any surprises. And Farah and Sandy would like commingle sometimes, but they both had their own cages because Syrian hamsters don't like to be with they don't like to be together. They'll hurt each other. So like they've always been separated, but they would commingle sometimes. Well, when David and I were traveling to Georgia, I got a text message from my mom. Hey, can you call me? I have something like really big to tell you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. And I'm like, what is it? Because I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah.
But I call her and she's like, they're at the zoo, and she says, Meredith, you have 13 baby hamsters. And she said, payback. For all the bunnies that you brought to our home, which was 32 at one point. 32 baby bunnies. Yes.
I did not know this.
And yeah, so the story that my mom always loves to tell is that I had Prince Eric and Erica, and my mom had separated them because we already had babies. And I told her one day after she got home from school, she looked at me and she's like, hey, Meredith, why did you put Erica back in Prince Eric's cage? And I'm like, well, they were missing each other. And I said, when I put him back in, like they just kept hugging each other and hugging each other. This is the infamous story of me growing up with 32 bunnies. So now, payback. I have 13 Syrian hamsters.
That is payback. That's straight up.
Okay, but here's the deal, though. So, and I get it, Syrian hamsters, but you put Syrian hamsters, they're super tiny. Their gestation is only 21 days. So, but if you don't separate the babies after 21 days, they can procreate, which is really not cool. I could have like 98. Yeah, so we have them counted. We have them counted on a schedule. You also have to be very careful because the moms are very protective, obviously. Mm-hmm. But like if they feel like they're in a sense of danger, then I hate sharing this with you, but I have to be honest. They will consume their young to protect them because they believe that if they're in a bad environment, it's better for them to
hold them in their mouth and in their insides.
But Farah has been such a good mom. We have all 13 still, and they're so healthy and they're thriving and they're so cute. They're getting fur now.
I can't believe that you got 13 hamsters accidentally.
Oh, and then Harper. Okay, so Harper was taking a shower, and like the hamster, like they're set up in on the counter in my son's bathroom. One of them is. And he got out of the shower and he was looking in the glass container, and when he was looking over, he said that Farah just like started popping them out, like pop, 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 pop. I know, this has got to be so traumatic for my son.
He learned a little bit in that moment, I think.
They grew up a lot because they started doing research on how to protect the babies and how to make sure that Farah was okay and what we needed to feed her and what their gestation cycle looks like. And so all of a sudden it was this like science experiment.
Oh,
I know.
I mean,
thanks, Mom.
Yeah. It was a blessing.
Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do. We've got 7 days to figure it out.
If you're in Vieira,
let me know.
If you want a hamster.
Yeah.
Hit up Meredith.
Hit me up. And then also, but we did call the place where we purchased them, and they said hamsters fly out of the cages like hotcakes. So they sell very quickly.
Oh, so are you going to be able to bring them back?
Yeah, we can take them back there.
Oh, good. Okay.
If we need to.
Well, I mean, it is technically their fault since they did say that they were both females, right?
Mm-hmm. But they weren't.
Okay. Clearly.
Clearly.
So now instead of Sandy, you said it's Sandman.
Oh, it's Mr. Sandman.
Mr.
Mr.
Sandman.
Sandman, bring me a dream. Right? Isn't that a good name? Yeah. But it's so hard to call him a boy now.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Well, you can still call him Sandy. I mean,
Yeah.
Sandy can be a guy.
Oh, you know what
Guy
Sandy
too.
means? It's short. Actually, Mari asked us the other day to Google, but it means hero of mankind.
Hero of mankind.
Yeah, the name Sandy does.
Hamster. Hero of
Hero of
mankind. That means
Sandy, hero of mankind.
Harper now has a cartoon that he can write up.
Right? Oh, that would be great. Okay, my son is all... We're talking a lot about him today. I love him. But he is really into stop motion film.
Graphics?
No, like creating these scenes. Stop motion. Yeah, it's stop motion. So stop motion film. So he creates, or animation, stop motion animation. So he's been creating like these scenes with these superheroes, and you just barely move like their hand like this. So like it's just a slight movement, but over motion over the time, like sequence.
It's like a
it
flip-
becomes like a flip book.
kind of.
Yeah, and that's
Yep.
been really cool. So
Yep.
if your kids are, I don't know, you don't know what they're going to get into, but
Definitely.
whatever it is, like listen and let them,
Right.
empower them.
Empower them. Give them the tools.
See, I already got his Christmas list, and it's full of like stop motion.
Wait, didn't you say he
figurines.
wanted a jet for Christmas?
He told me. He wrote that he wanted it. Oh my gosh, ridiculous! I'm not even going to list this stuff out. But he said maybe you don't have to choose all of them. I'm going to get some water.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Meredith got these cutest little Grinch cups. I love
They're so
them.
fun.
They make me so happy.
I know we're on the cusp of the holidays.
Yes, we are.
This will actually come out
Oh,
December.
speaking of the holidays, I feel like I got some inspiration from this song that I shared with Meredith today, which talks about a squirrel. And if you've never heard this song before, it's called Acorns by the White Stripes.
Okay.
And it talks about this woman, Janet, who recently got divorced. She lost her dad. She lost her job. She was in financial trouble. So, like, everything was, like, falling apart. She had lost hope. She was in this state of despondency. And then there was this one moment where she was walking and she came across a squirrel. It was in the middle of winter. And the squirrel was taking acorns one by one up into the tree. And she thought to herself, if this squirrel can survive this harsh winter, like, then I can survive anything. Like, if he's just taking one acorn at a time and bringing it up to the tree. And then there was this moment where it, like, just clicked for her. And she was like, I just need to take my problems and break them into pieces. And that's how I can get through. And then eventually she ended up surviving and thriving after she had done this simple thing of just, instead of letting all of the pressure of all of the problems bring her into despair, she broke them down. And I think, like, when I was thinking of Christmas, like, I know that life can get really chaotic and feel like there's so much to do. There's so many issues between, like, whose family you want to go to. Like, everybody wants what they want. And I know that's, like, that can be a pain point for a lot of people. And so maybe just instead of letting all of the overwhelm get to you during the holidays, just breaking it up and tackling one problem at a time.
Yeah.
You know?
Because once the mountain doesn't seem so big when you're breaking it down into one step, right? Like, if you're just the small acorn is preparing her for winter, or preparing the squirrel. Maybe it's a her for winter, you know? And yeah, that's a very powerful message.
Yeah, I was just listening to it. I was listening to it on my run, and I was like, wow, that's a really, really powerful song. And when we're going through the shit or going through just a very overwhelming time, which I know a lot of moms have a lot of shit to do, a lot of stuff on our plates. Just, that's a great message to just, you know, one step at a time, break it down, because Janet, she was going through the shit.
Oh, yeah, she was. Did this just pop up on your...
No, so actually my husband shared it with me.
Really?
Yeah, he actually, I think my son was having a hard day, and he had a problem of some kind, and so we all listened to it as a family.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a rock song.
It's a rock song.
It's pretty, like, if you want to get amped up, like, listen to this song. If you're going through it right now, listen to this song, Acorns by the White Stripes. It is a pretty great song, but that song gave me some inspiration, so I wanted to share it with you.
I like that.
Yeah. So there's anything that has, like, sparked your inspiration lately?
Yes. I got this yesterday. This restoration hardware book.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. This sparked my inspiration yesterday. So I love looking at restoration hardware. I don't own anything from restoration hardware, but it's such beautiful stuff. But on the very first page, it says, "Imagination's more powerful than knowledge" by Albert Einstein.
Oh, imagination is more powerful than knowledge.
And that's so true. We were kind of talking about that last week too, about how you can use your imagination, because it's not about what it is, it's about what it can become, you know? And I mean, even this little squirrel going and taking these acorns and storing them in his home, like, I don't know what that's knowledge though, I guess.
I like that.
But I think that imagination, so a lot of the times I'm spending, like, if I'm out and about, I'm just consuming the world, and then I like to come back and express it through art. And one of the things that I actually did over the weekend is I started taking photos of my home, because I'd like to do some updates, like, just to like
Elevate it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I want to do this hand scraped fireplace. Like, I want it all to be like this really beautiful, like, riveted.
Oh.
Yeah.
You would do it?
No, I wouldn't do it. I'd have to. So I drew all of this out on my iPad. So, like, I would take a picture and then I would draw it. And then when we went to dinner in Georgia, these beautiful walls with, like, I don't know. They were just so nice. So I've been inspired by that lately.
I like it when we're able to just stay present, because I think a lot of times we're thinking about, like, all of the things that we have to do, but when you can stop and, like, actually take a look around you, that's when inspiration comes to you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really important to stop and think about that, you know?
And then I think expressing it, because you can see it, and then once you recognize, like, oh, I saw that, and you have to find some way to express it. So that's why I think, like, I had these ideas that were, like, bubbling in my head, so I just went around and I took photos of, like, all the areas, and then I just sat down and I drew each of those, like, what I saw in my head, like what I wanted it to look like in my head.
Well, that's a really good practice for your brain too, because, like, that's recall.
Yeah.
And that's, like, one of the best ways to learn, actually. And that's how you really start to ingrain things in your brain.
Oh, yeah. Like, when you teach a new concept or a new idea, that reiterates that you're learning it. So that's why we always share, like, whatever we're reading. It might not always be 100% accurate, but we're trying to reteach it because we're trying to learn it.
Yeah. It's like those comprehension tests that we used to take in school.
Right? They're really valuable. I keep trying to get my kids to focus on reading, but I just feel like that curiosity just isn't sparked in them yet. It's really challenging.
And you know what, though? I think sometimes reading is, like, I remember as a kid, I didn't really like to read. I know some people love to read, and now I love to read, but it didn't come to me until later in life.
Yeah, same here. I guess I didn't do very much of it either up until probably like 10 years ago. I think that's when I really started.
Yeah, so that's okay.
It's okay.
I mean, we try our best. Try our best to keep them going, and all you can do is try and keep pushing them.
I think one thing that I wish that I would have had more time to do, though, is we read to our children when they're really young, before they go to bed. And I think whenever our youngest was born, Mari, I think when she was born, our children were at 6 and 8. Oh, I guess the dishes are done.
Yeah.
Just in case you hear that little noise. But when Oliver and Harper were 6 and 8, I had Mari, which meant that my time in the evenings was then dedicated to her. And I wish that I would have had that opportunity to continue reading like their level of books to them before bedtime. That would have been really, so if you can do that.
Yeah.
I could start again. But it's just too much time, I think. In the evening.
Yeah. You guys have a lot going on. So, well, I think that was a really fun chat. Let us know if you guys like that more casual conversation. It was really fun to have it for me. So
same for me.
Yeah.
I like it because then it's just this culmination of everything that you've been learning throughout the week and like your experiences, and
it's just there's more journey.
There's more depth, you know, for the real things that we're like going through in life. And this is a source and a sense of expression in itself of just evaluating like what it was that we went through each week, you know? So whatever it is, go find some sort of expression. Maybe it's writing, maybe it's photography, maybe it's drawing. Oh, we've been talking a lot about drawing, or doing a painting.
Oh yeah,
a group one night.
Oh yeah, our friends just reached out to us, and I think we're gonna do like a painting night or something. And maybe if you're local, we could probably link the event if you decide you want to go too. And then we're also going to be starting Friday walks at the Linear Trail, which is at the Brevard Zoo. So if you're also local, we would love to have you. And we're just going to be chatting casually, walking. It's going to be fun. Oh,
and then there's also at Sur La Table, there's cooking classes at the
That would
Avenue.
be fun to do sometime too.
Really, really fun.
So I love
all this sense of expression. You see all those senses of expression. It's art, it's creativity, it's something that fuels your mind and makes you feel better. So whatever it is, keep chasing it, right?
Yeah, and then you get to hang out with your gals.
That'll be fun.
So yeah, come with us. Also, I know I want you to share the links for the Gua Sha and the dry brush. Okay. So if you want to share them with her too, that would be great.
Okay.
But I think we're gonna wrap things up. So thank you so much for joining us, and always keep looking for that light within. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Just before you go, if you want to sprinkle some love our way without spending a dime, why not hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel? It's like giving us a hug through the internet. So please give that button a little tap and join our Sunne family.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found the discussions enlightening and inspiring. Please note that the information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only. All opinions expressed here are solely our own and do not reflect the views of any sponsors or affiliate partners.
And before you apply any of the health strategies discussed on the podcast, we recommend consulting with a professional to ensure it is appropriate for your specific circumstances.
Remember, we're here to spark conversation and ideas, not substitute for any professional advice.